Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I am Barbara Marville Kelly. Thanks so much for joining us. We're here in Palm Harbor and we're featuring the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce. And my next guest happens to be Debra Brown-Adamo. Did I get that right?
That's right.
And you're with Nannies Who Care. And I want you to share this with everyone because at first I thought maybe it was at-home health care, but it's an agency for child care in the home, in my home, right?
Correct.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so Nannies Who Care is full service nanny placement agency. So we've been in the Palm Harbor area for 29 years.
Really?
And but we also serve all of Tampa Bay, Sarasota, and Orlando. And families hire us to find a nanny to care for their children in their home. And we also provide nanny service at events like weddings or conventions. And we provide nanny service at hotels. So families that are staying on vacation and they want to have a date night, they can contact us for a nanny for a date night.
Oh, that's really great. You know, we were talking just before the segment about going online looking for a nanny versus this hands-on basically is what you're about.
Right.
So the difference there can be, I can only imagine.
Yes. So we try to spend a lot of time on educating the public between an online list and using an agency like mine. So families sometimes go online and search for nannies themselves, or they use an online service which doesn't do a thorough background check. So it can give a false sense of security because they think they're getting a thorough background check when actually they're just getting a national database check, which anyone can do online. It's almost free. So we use a company that provides the background check for our nannies, and it's a criminal background check. They actually check any records, any place a nanny has lived, worked, or gone to school. And so in addition to the criminal check, we do a lot of other searching on the nanny, including driving record and sex offender check. And we have a relationship with our nannies. So it's very safe, it's secure. Our nannies we know well, and we have constant feedback from our clients.
What is the age group of the nannies that you have?
We don't accept anyone under 18. And it could be any age over that as long as they are physically able to care for children.
Okay, so do they go through physicals and that type of a thing?
They don't do an actual physical for our agency as part of the background check, but they do have to come in for a face-to-face interview. Okay. We meet with them, we check their references, and all of our nannies have to be met in person. So, and they'll also have to be sent out for CPR certification and first aid.
Okay, all right. Because I know, you know, when you're going to put someone in charge of your child, you want to make sure, I mean, this is probably a crazy question to ask, but how do we know that this nanny has a secure background check? I guess it's just based on the data. Right?
Yes, in addition to the fact that we've been around for so long, a lot of our nannies we've placed before. Okay. So they have a history with our agency. Good. So we have feedback from our clients that use our service on a regular basis, because in addition to placing nannies on a permanent basis where someone might be a two-income family that needs to go out to work, we also do those simple date nights. So our nannies will have constant feedback from our clients regarding these nannies. And then we've placed them, many nannies we've placed 4 or 5 times because we've been around for so long.
You know, there's a lot to be said for that. How many years have you been in business?
29.
Okay, so listen up. This is really critical. Just like we've talked about other professionals that you want to, you know, contact professionals that are licensed and all that. It's no different than having child care for your child, because in today's day and age, it's really crazy. And I like what I'm hearing with the history that you've developed. You get to know your nannies. Now, another question for you. Do you match up the personalities with the families? Is there any kind of an interaction and engagement there?
Well, the families do have to fill out a 5-page application, so we do go in great detail, and we do provide an assessment with the family before we start sending the nannies over. However, I've been surprised many times over who the family has chosen as their nanny. So as long as the nanny meets the criteria and she lives in close proximity to the family and has the experience, we will refer them to the family and let them do an in-person interview and make their decision on their nanny.
Oh, that's good. So you're not
yeah.
picking and choosing for the family.
No, no. Only for date nights. So we have the last minute calls. We sometimes provide nannies within an hour. So we do backup care. So in those cases, we do make the decision for the family because it's last minute and they need someone right away to care for their children.
I see. So you've already done the homework and the background checks, and you just make that decision, a management decision on the spot.
Yes.
So okay, let's talk a little bit, if we can, on, are you contractual or day by day, or how do you do that? Hourly?
Well, that's another thing that is important to know also, because when you hire a nanny, she's considered to be an employee, and some families pay their nanny. They're not paying their nanny legally, so it could be a problem for them, because if they don't do that, IRS could come back after them and start and fine them with penalties for not paying their nanny legally. So we do advise, and we also refer them to tax payroll companies that specialize in the nanny industry, so they can get advice, and they could use them if they choose to, or they can do it on their own.
So let me make sure I have this straight. So if a nanny is like, they have to go obviously through a certification or of some sort to become a nanny, or they
go through our background check too.
Okay, so they go through that. This is really good to know. So if someone was wanting to have a nanny come in, they need to know that may not work too well for them with the IRS if they don't go through a bona fide agency.
Correct.
Who knew? Did you know that? I didn't know that. That's cool. Of course, I don't have little kids, but.
And it's so important to know also that our nanny, we try to have fun in our agency as well. So we do nanny nights out with our nannies. We all get together. We go out to dinner. It's fun. We do provide training for our nannies. They come in and they have training days, and they get certifications for that training. So it's peace of mind for our families.
Oh, absolutely. So they do go through continuing education.
Yes.
It's probably good because they can.
Ongoing.
You can actually kind of collaborate on the various stories that goes on in different families. I mean, no two families are alike, right? And maybe do a little problem solving.
Yes.
And appreciation too.
We offer a lot of support.
Yeah.
Because it's needed.
Our kids need the very best ever. And when families have to work, if they have to go out on a date night, which is really highly recommended, especially when two members when mom and dad's working, or single parents and things like that.
Right.
I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios, and to take care of our kids, there are future generations to come here, so it's good for them to have the proper care, secured care that is safe for them as well.
Right.
So where are you, where's your agency?
In Palm Harbor. We're actually moving right across from the chamber. So.
Oh, really? Very good. How long have you been a member?
Well, I was a member of the chamber when I first started, and then there was a little gap in between, and I'm back again as of last week.
And how long? What made you go into this business? Do you have kids of your own?
I do, 3.
Yeah? How old are they?
So they are 30, 28, and 24.
So you just didn't have enough kids, right?
I love children. So.
And you know what? That's the answer. That's the passion. I'm glad to hear you say that. So what would you recommend to our viewers that are just thinking of checking around? And you know that's what we do, is we check around, we price shop, we do some comparison. What do we need to be asking before we choose you?
I would say check the competition, check the background screening that is done, make sure you get a copy of it, and make sure that we're a member of various organizations such as the International Nanny Association and the Association of Premier Nanny Agencies. We have standards and a code of ethics that we have to follow, and so it's important to know what agency, what their background is that you're dealing with.
That is excellent. And I never would have expected. I had no idea.
Most people don't.
No, because when I was raising my kids, I mean, they're in their 40s and almost 50s, and back then, their grandparents babysat them and watched them, or an aunt, right? So this is really important information. I'm so glad that we saved that for the very end, and you're just a delight. I wouldn't think twice of maybe handing my grandson over to you these days.
But we'd love to have him.
That will probably never happen. I want him all to myself, and I don't charge. But I want to thank you so much. You're a delight.
Thank you, Barbara.
All right, so think about it. Give her a call if you are in a nanny situation and you want to find really the best for your family. I think it's going to be a good mix for you, a good match. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be right back with our very last segment, so stay tuned.